The Newton County assessor is at odds with the state tax commission over the state's request to increase property value assessments. I'm Samantha Walker, and I'll have that story coming up.
Plus, kids in McDonald County, Missouri get hands-on learning in the field of robotics. And the Bourbon County Fair kicks off in Fort Scott with fun and games and plenty of livestock.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
The Newton County, Missouri assessor is at odds with the state tax commission over the state's request to raise property assessment values. This is KOAM News at 6. I'm Dow Quick. 80 counties in Missouri were informed by the commission they were out of compliance with state law and were told to raise property assessment values. But the Newton County assessor is refusing them to raise them by the amount requested, even as the state tax commission takes action against her. KOAM Samantha Walker has the story.
They said, well, you just put a 12% straight across the county on everybody. And I said, no, I'm not doing that. My county can't afford it. So I withstood my ground.
Like dozens of other counties in Missouri, Newton County fell out of compliance with their property assessment valuations, currently assessing properties at 77% of market value. State law says assessments have to be within 90 to 110% of market value. Non-compliant counties received a letter from the state tax commission asking them to raise property valuations. But Newton County assessor Cheryl Perkins says she's not signing a letter of understanding from the state tax commission asking her office to raise county property tax valuations by 12%.
The cost of living is going up, our utilities are going up, our insurances are going up, and we just can't afford another huge increase. I would not do it even if I had time to put a 12% on somebody overnight or in one tax year. I won't do it.
She says she wants to be in compliance and she also wants to follow Missouri state law, but she feels like this increase needs to be more gradual.
We do need to be in compliance because we do need to be at value, but we can't get there overnight when we didn't fall out of compliance overnight.
In a May meeting, the State Tax Commission voted to withhold 2026 assessment maintenance funds from 14 counties, including Newton County, for their refusal to sign the letter of understanding and upping property assessments to their desired amount. Those maintenance funds are used by assessor's office to pay for salaries, supplies, and work vehicles. In Newton County, the amount being withheld is more than $108,000.
Newton County's assessment fund is in good shape, and we can take the blow. And I will do it for the people.
But she says the state tax commission is likely to take further action, from removing her from office to withholding more funds.
Our next plan is to try to hold all the sales tax from the counties to where they have no operating money to make the assessor raise the values.
Perkins says she will continue to fight any significant increases in future years, something she says the commission is planning, but emphasizes not every assessor has the same ability to refuse like her, so she encourages community members to reach out to their lawmakers if they want to see change. Reporting in Newton County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Now, KOAM has reached out to the Missouri State Tax Commission for comment. We have not yet received a response. Let's check in with meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a first look at the weather.
Well, temperatures are in the upper or low 90s, but our heat index is in the upper 90s, about 99 degrees. Now we are seeing winds gusting 20-25 miles per hour. Those are going to continue to die down. Now for the rest of the evening, we're looking clear right now, but you can see storms out near Branson and just to the east of Branson. We also have a front that's pushing into Kansas City. That's a cold front, not making it into our area until after midnight, closer to about 3 a.m. tonight, because it is a very slow moving, if not stationary front. Now tonight and until about 3-4 a.m. on Thursday, our risk for severe weather is just to the north of us, but we are going to see chances of rain starting to creep in again around 3 to 4 a.m. You can see where our percent goes up to about 20, and then mid-morning storms in the area. They return later in the afternoon. I'll have those details coming up.
In a few, McDonald County High School is hosting a robotics camp for kindergarten through 8th grade. The students start with the basics of coding and building, and as they age, they get more complex robots. Getting STEM to McDonald County students early is the main intention of the camp. Upper class McDonald County students volunteer to teach the younger students.
I myself have learned a little bit about the robotics and learned how to take care of like children better, like learn how to like become like if you were just like another friend for them.
We're going to have a lot more on this story for you tonight on KOAM News at 10. The Bourbon County Fair kicked off today in Fort Scott, Kansas. The annual event gives agricultural competitors a chance to showcase their livestock in various categories such as dairy and beef cattle. The fair also offers plenty of food, fun, and games.
I like hanging out with my friends and the animals and having new experiences.
Hanging out with my friends and all the opportunities I get and learning experiences and the cornhole tournament.
The theme for this year's fair is Create a Fairy Tale. The Bourbon County Fair was first held way back in 1860. The Royals began making trade moves. The latest member of the KOAM team, Sports Director Ryan Blank, is going to bring us details. That's coming up. But first, repelling an invasion.
Local experts are cleaning up invasive species at Wildcat Park. I'm Lonnie Walton in Joplin. I'll have that story coming up.
It's big news for conservationists in Missouri. Governor Mike Kehoe signed a bill into law this week that'll help combat the spread of 6 invasive plants in the Show Me State. As KOAM's Lonnie Walton reports, local experts say it's a much-needed service to protect the native landscape.
I kind of fell in love with the green, the vibrancy, and the lush life that is nature.
Ashvin Scott is a job coach in Joplin. She helps remove invasive plants with her 2 students.
Try to make sure that you don't have tons of non-native plants, because that isn't always good for the dirt either. And that's what my mom drilled into my head at about age 12.
And another person spreading the message is Ava Valesquez, the habitat restoration coordinator for the Wildcat Glades in Joplin. One invasive plant she's removing right now is the winter creeper.
It crowds out all the native plants and it has shallow roots, so it contributes to erosion.
And it doesn't stop there. The crew is looking for another invasive plant, the Sericea lespedeza.
It's been discovered that it's very aggressive. It actually will make other plants around it unhealthy and crowd them out.
A new bill signed by Missouri Governor Mike Kehoe will ban nurseries in the state from buying, selling, and transporting 6 non-native invasive plants, including the Japanese honeysuckle, Sericea, burning bush, and calorie pear.
It happens regardless, but we're going to have to get rid of it, and it's going to be a very long project to do.
The forest gets cleaned up more, and you get to see more of the plants that actually are supposed to grow here.
The bill is one that conservationists in the state have wanted passed for some time now. However, for this group, they'll focus on the joy of restoring the habitat.
I love getting down on the ground and pulling up the winter creeper because this morning I got to meet a very lovely frog and lots of beautiful spiders.
Reporting in Joplin, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
You never know when you're going to meet a very lovely frog. That law goes into effect on August 28th. A little bit later, one woman's prized book collection in Kansas City will soon find a new life.
And thunderstorms return to the area tomorrow, plus heat returns on the weekend. I'll have those details coming up. Well, today was a hot day. We got up to about 93. Now it's just going to continue to get hotter, but we do have a brief cooler day because of storm chances. Let's go ahead and take a look. Now tonight, not really expecting anything to actually make it into our area until about 3 a.m. to 4 a.m. on Thursday. So we do have an isolated risk for storms for our central counties. That's going to be Thursday because this front is just going to sit over our area most of the day on Thursday. Now currently it's up to the north of us. You can see Kansas City. You can see where that wind shift line is. Now it's just been sitting up in Kansas City for the last couple of hours. So it's stationary, not quite moving, which is why we're not seeing anything until early Thursday morning. Now taking a look at downtown Joplin for the rest of the afternoon and evening, we've got these clear skies, maybe a couple of clouds, but overall a great looking evening. Now storms are expected to bring a chance for an isolated wind threat. We could get winds gusting up to 40, 50, even pushing up to 50 miles per or 60 miles per hour as they move into the area. Now, as we head into midnight, Not seeing anything in our area just yet, but we are going to start to see those clouds dipping down. Now, around 3:30, 4 a.m., rain starts to creep into the area very slowly because this front is not moving quickly. So here is our cold front. You can see an isolated storm popping up near Yates Center just to the south, out near Chanute, Parsons as well. Fort Scott, Nevada getting some rain. This is about 8 a.m. on Thursday. So we are going to get some more scattered showers through mid-morning hours to early afternoon. They do taper off as that front loses steam a little bit. Now it's still just sitting in the same area, but because of surface heating, we get another round of thunderstorms popping up later in the afternoon. So this is about 4:30. We've got a couple of isolated storms. Now these could be pretty strong. Not saying they're going to be any more severe than what we saw in the morning. Just that wind threat remains for the afternoon as well. But could get some heavy rainfall and a lot of lightning. But they do fire back up around 4:30 to 5 p.m. out in southeastern Kansas. But they move into the Missouri side near Nevada, Stockton area as well. Now that front is starting to push further south as we get into late Thursday evening. Now, heading into the weekend, we're switching gears a little bit. We don't have any more rain chances, but we will have the heat rising. So temperatures on Friday back into the low 90s, around 93, 94 degrees. And then our heat index, 100 in Joplin, 101 in Pittsburgh, 105 in Independence and Fredonia. Now, Saturday is when things really start to heat up. 103 heat index in Joplin, 106 Pittsburgh, Fort Scott, Iola, Chanute, 107 out there, Sedan, Independence, Fredonia. So we definitely are going to see a couple of heat advisories issued for Saturday, if not Friday, but definitely Saturday. Sunday as well, temperatures in the mid-90s, about 95. That continues all the way through next week. A couple of pop-up thunderstorm chances. Those are just your normal summertime thunderstorm chances, non-severe, but the heat is really, after Thursday, it's really what we're going to be focusing on for the next week, week and a half.
Yeah, the temperatures are bad enough, and then you factor in the heat index, it's going to be sweltering out there.
It is.
Thanks. So ahead, these summer nights continue with action on the diamond. We're going to preview the Griffins and Outlaws matchups, and we'll have the highlights from last night's Major League All-Star game in Atlanta. That's coming up.
On Tuesday, some of baseball's top stars from the American and National League battled in the 95th edition of the MLB All-Star Game at Truist Park in Atlanta, and boy, did it not disappoint. The American League entering the night as winners in 10 of the last 11 All-Star Game matchups, and the scoring would start early with Diamondbacks Ketel Marte giving the National League that early lead 2-0 with a 2-run double. Shohei Ohtani and Ronald Acuna Jr. scoring on the play. Pitching would stay strong until the 6th inning with Mets star Pete Alonso getting the crowd on their feet with a 3-run blast to the opposite field, making it 5-0. The NL, they weren't done there. Corbin Carroll, another Diamondback, brings the fireworks, clearing the wall for a solo round tripper. Trailing 6-0 in the 7th, it was the American League's turn. Former Kansas City Royal and current A's slugger Brent Rooker cuts the deficit in half with a 3-run homer to left center. Moving to the 9th, 1-run game, and after driving in his second RBI of the night, Royals Bobby Witt Jr. scoring the game-tying run on this infield single from Guardian Stephen Kwan. As we are heading to a home run derby swing off, 3 players from each side getting 3 swings, Rooker would hit another 2 home runs to give AL an early lead in the tiebreak. National League trailing by a pair of long balls, Phillies star Kyle Schwarber stealing the show with not 1, not 2, but 3 moonshots, capped off by this Reggie Jackson-style finish. As National League takes home the All-Star Game crown with a 7-6 tiebreaker win, Schwarber takes home the MVP trophy after his powerful performance in the swing-off. As the All-Star Game has come and gone, the highly anticipated trade deadline now takes center stage with the first domino falling this morning. The Royals are bringing back former face for a second-half playoff push, acquiring Adam Frazier from the Pittsburgh Pirates for Cam Devaney. Frazier spent the 2024 season in KC as part of the Royals team that made their first postseason appearance since 2015. This season, Frazier is hitting .255 in 78 games, with his average being higher than any Royals bench bat that isn't named Freddie for me, and he'll look to provide a spark to the Kansas City lineup. The Nevada Griffins and Joplin Outlaws are back in action at home tonight as the summer baseball season continues across the 4 states. The Griffins are locked in a doubleheader against the Mink League's top squad, the St. Joe Mustangs. Nevada's lost 8 games in a row, but still sit a half game ahead of the Sedalia Bombers for the last spot in the Mink League playoff picture. As for St. Joe, they've won 10 out of their last 12 games and lead the Clarinda A's by 7.5 games to the top seed in the playoffs. Game 1 currently in the 5th inning, Griffins and Mustangs are tied at 1. The Joplin Outlaws are also playing a doubleheader this evening, battling the Fort Smith Marshals at Joe Becker Stadium. Last night, Joplin took care of business on their home field with a dominant 13-2 win. Every error for the Outlaws drove in a run, led by Anthony Mazza and Ray Von Morgan's multi-RBI performances. Joplin has won 7 of their last 8 games and currently sit at 31-10 on the season. They lead the Abilene Flying Bison by 3.5 games for the top spot in the league playoffs. The opening game of the doubleheader is currently in the 4th inning, with the Marshals leading 4-0.
All right, now if you're saying to yourself, I don't think I've seen that guy before, well, you would be correct. Ryan Blank is a new addition to our sports team. He comes to us as sports director, having previously worked in North Dakota. It's good to have you on the team, Ryan.
Thank you so much. I am so excited to be here. Being a Kansas City native myself, being a little bit closer to home and being able to cover teams like Chiefs, Royals, and then obviously the great high schools around here, I'm super excited.
So being a Kansas City native, you understand, it's pretty hot out there this time of year. You're going to be covering a game tonight. I know you're going to be going right after this newscast, and it'll be a bit hotter than it has been in North Dakota.
Yeah, just a tad bit. North Dakota, it gets humid, but not this heat like this. So I'm a little bit excited to get back to where I grew up with that natural weather to me.
We're excited to have you here. Welcome aboard, Ryan. We'll be right back. Here's a look at what's coming up on KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14 tonight. After 25 years, the Green Lawn Time Capsule is opened tonight at the Cherokee County Fair, revealing memories of a lost school. Plus, Americans face a housing crisis, but rising competition from Chinese buyers is making it worse. And summer storms can strike fast. Are you prepared with the right emergency kit? Those stories and a lot more, of course, is coming up tonight. KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. The oldest black-owned bookstore in Missouri has written its final chapter. Dozens of people came out to see Miss Willa Mae Robinson close the chapters on Willa's books and vinyl. Even the mayor of Kansas City made the trip to the historic store one last time. An avid collector of books, Miss Willa decided she needed to do something with the titles she had collected over the years, first selling them at festivals in the 1990s before opening the shop back in 2007. Now, as she prepares to turn the page on her collection, she's also turning it over to a new generation.
We're going to be transforming it into an archive so people from the community can come in for free and look at these rare books. She has books from Frederick Douglass, first edition Frederick Douglass books.
The Kansas City Defender, a community organization and media platform, will ensure the collection's legacy. Ryan had to get out of here to go cover a ball game. He's being introduced, getting quickly introduced to the weather in the 4 states, and it is hot.
Well, luckily today, though, he doesn't have to deal with storms canceling any sports, but tomorrow we will have storm chances starting around 3:30 to 4 a.m., continuing well into the afternoon. Hit and miss thunderstorms across the day, but the heat returns by Friday into the weekend. 95 with heat index in the low hundreds. So it's going to be a very hot weekend.
Pretty much bumping up against the ceiling. Thanks for joining us. We're going to see you right back here for KOAM News at 10. Let's make it a great evening.